All right, this is case study number 4, Facebook privacy. What privacy? Question mark. I'm John Gilbert. All right, let's start with a little introduction. Facebook is all about advertising, and that's where the majority of the revenue comes in. The way that they make this revenue has sparked a lot of debate. Facebook sells your personal information, which would, for them is your relationship status, your location, your employment status, your favorite books, movies, TV shows, and a host of other categories. Um, the debate comes from these creepy, accurate ads that keep popping up on people's feeds. They seem a little bit too specific. They might remind us of a recent Google search or something we had talked about in person lately. It's kind of scary how these ads show up, and they use your personal information with or without your consent. This article takes a closer look into the checkered past of privacy violations and missteps that Facebook has accumulated over the years. Current IT events. So for their current events, Facebook has recently purchased the digital content rights to the ICC cricket events, which is like cricket the sport, Facebook Live, and then Facebook Stories. Aha. So the first question from our case study is perform an ethical analysis of Facebook. What is the ethical dilemma presented by this case? So I did the 5 steps, and the first step I talked about Facebook used personal information of Facebook user accounts. Facebook uses facial recognition systems to automatically tag the user in a post without their consent. Uh-huh. They also defaulted privacy settings to observe the user's likes and interests. And then in the second part of the ethical analysis, which is talks about defining the conflict or dilemma and then identifying the higher order values involved. I said Facebook's main conflict is the number of lawsuits and settlements they're facing from uh, from angry users who are concerned about their privacy. And then the third part is identifying the stakeholders. And I said the stakeholders are the Facebook account users, also the Facebook higher ups who are in charge of correcting the privacy issues. And then the fourth part, which talks about identifying the options that you can reasonably take. And I said Facebook could default settings to increase privacy for users, which would just reverse their current setup because they have it defaulted in their favor and they should put it in the favor of the user. They could also offer a pop up when users log in or open the app. The pop up would ask permission before it examined their profiles, likes, and interests. I think the only bad consequence, oh, I'm sorry, for number 5, um, the fifth category is the identify the potential consequences of your options. I think the only bad consequence would be in Facebook's side of it. They would struggle to produce advertisements. However, they could produce advertisements that weren't scarily accurate to specific interests of the users. The second question from the case study is what is the relationship of privacy to Facebook's business model? I said it's kind of hard to tell. Facebook's business model revolves around sharing others' information. Their overall success revolves around analyzing account data and the user's likes and interests. And I said Facebook doesn't really have a good privacy option. The third question from the case study was describe the weaknesses of Facebook's privacy policies and features. What people, organization, and technology factors have contributed to those weaknesses? Facebook doesn't ask permission before viewing and analyzing personal data, which violates a lot of ethical concepts. Many people have no clue that their private information is being viewed on that level, and to that level, um, their features are enabled by default, likely allowing Facebook to continue producing advertisements and thus continue to produce revenue. Facebook stands to gain from managing and in the book it says Facebook stands to gain from managing and avoiding the privacy concerns its users and government regulators raise. The final thing I said was the management has allowed Facebook to remain in control of its users, and I wouldn't blame them because that's where they get their income. However, it is kind of a unethical way to raise money. And then finally, the fourth question was, will Facebook be able to have a successful business model without invading privacy? Explain your answer. Could Facebook take any measures to make this possible? I said Facebook could sell other things. They can push merchandise like T-shirts and coffee mugs, hats, stuff of that nature, kind of knickknack items. They can sell the app for a price instead of a free download on the App Store. And then Facebook could simply have a product related account that users can follow, like a Facebook account on Facebook about Facebook. And they would look at those likes and comments on those posts in an effort to push products. My first question of the two was, does Instagram have privacy problems? Did those problems exist before Facebook bought them? I did a little research and I found out Instagram has the exact same problem. They analyze interests and they analyze Google searches to fuel advertisements. Before Facebook bought them, Instagram had an explore page that was random content, not necessarily based on likes from users, but based on popularity across Instagram. So it did have that problem when Facebook took over, and originally it had something similar with that explore page, but that was not really based on the users' likes and comments, but more based on just popularity from everyone on Instagram. And then my second question was, are the rumors about surveillance through phone cameras and laptops true? I actually genuinely didn't know this, but there's been a movie called, I believe it's Snowden, and it talks about it shows the story of a FBI agent and kind of all these surveillance things, and it's kind of creepy. But yeah, this has been a known fact for quite some time. According to The Guardian, FBI officials know how to access your laptop cameras without triggering the lights that indicate when the cameras are in use, which is really freaky. And then the products have hit the market nowadays with the purpose of covering cameras. So it's actually become a revenue chain for some companies to cover up these surveillance devices. Finally, in my conclusion, I said Facebook is a multi-billion-dollar company. They violated tons of ethical, moral, and personal barriers to get there. Um, Facebook uses others' information and abuses the trust. They will have a difficult time trying to repair their reputation. They may force more difficulty. They may face more difficulty patching it up once more people realize what's happening. I think the big problem is a lot of people just simply aren't educated on the dangers of Facebook and these privacy settings. And when they do become educated on it, I feel like Facebook will have quite the dilemma on their hands.